Hello and welcome to Upload,
A podcast by those who upload for those who want to.
or who already do.
And anyone else for that matter.
My name is Lionheart and I've been creating content for over a decade.
And my name's Midgeman and I've been trying to create content for almost a decade.
Together with some of our friends and fellow content creators, we're going to be exploring the great big world of content creation.
We'll be looking into the serious topics that face content creators today.
Because if someone said that to me like in person, or said that kind of stuff to me, you know, IRL, I wouldn't take it. So why would I take it like online? Why would I hide aspects of sort of my identity?
As well as some less serious topics.
I've been blindsided by the fact that one of your old live streams is called Suck My Missile for like the last
Sorry,
10
what?
minutes.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Upload.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Upload, the content creator podcast for those who upload, for those who want to, and everyone in between. My name is Midgeman.
And I'm Lionheart.
And before we get into today's episode, we'd like to remind you to subscribe, review, rate, and turn on your auto-downloaders if you have those, and leave us a review. You can also reach out to us either through YouTube comments or comments if they're available on your site, or via our email, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. This week is featuring a special guest. He's a gaming dad of 3, a fantastic content creator in his own right, and also somehow with that, like in addition to that, is also the director of content creator relations at Hooded Horse, H for Havoc himself, Antony Floyd. Welcome to the show. So happy to have you here.
I am very happy to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me.
You and Lion go relatively way back. Me and you have, we've worked together before, but yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us your your no nonsense thing, and then I will dive into the segment.
All right. Well, I'm Antony, also known as H for Havoc, creator relations at Hooded Horse, but also on the side job a content creator for, I want to say 7-8 years at this point. So quite a long time. But yeah, I enjoy strategy games. It's one of the reasons why I think I'm on this podcast, but also because it gave me the connection to Lionheart. It got me the job at Hooded Horse. And so strategy games have been my life. And then my other life is wrangling 3 children, one of who just turned 5 a couple of days ago. It's a trek for sure, but I absolutely love it. Like being a gaming dad is another reason why I'm a strategy gamer, because I can pause at any point. I can go deal with the havoc and the pure chaos, and I can come back and hit spacebar and continue right where I left off. So
I want that on a
it's
t-shirt.
wonderful.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I'm a strategy gamer because I can pause to be a dad.
That's awesome.
That's a great quote. I love that so much. And also just to everyone at home that might be listening, I also want to just say a double thank you for Havoc for joining us, because it is 4 a.m. where you are right now. You were willing to turn up at 3 as well for the first session today.
I need sleep.
And I was like,
Not when you're a dad.
No, I mean, you need it. Do you get it? That's the question.
Yeah, well, I can operate on relatively little sleep. At this point, the deficit is so huge that what's an extra 2 hours lost?
It's amazing how I think quickly you adapt, because you have to, right, with kids.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
But also in this job, where the more time you can put into it, the more you can hopefully try and get out of it. It's mad how much you can push yourself, even when you're not trying to run yourself into the ground with it, I guess, to just how much more you just get up and you're like, fine, yes, I'll edit this video, sleep deprived. It's fine, to the point where, you know what, I think when we had our first child, I was like, oh God, it's really going to be able to tell in the edits that I'm really lacking in sleep. And now that's just my normal standard.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's all good. Also, Mid, you're in the best beard sandwich ever on my screen.
I'm on the furthest left for me, but it's hilarious because it's like the content creator of the 3 Little Pigs in terms of the backing, because we got some with the House of Cardboard, the House of Wood, and the House of Stone.
It's fantastic.
We'll get on to what the heck those boxes are later, but I want to just quickly do our segment, which is content creators, of course, are the richest people in the world. Their net worth is huge. So we've grabbed a net worth site. Well, I had to do some net worth calculations off of Social Blade, because apparently we all make millions off of advertisement, etc. So I wanted to go into your net worth, Havoc, of your channel. Apparently, with your net worth, you could buy 320 Big Mac meals.
Yes.
You could buy one Google Pixel 8 Pro and two Google Pixels 8 and half of an NFL season ticket, which for me just shows that the price of NFL tickets are ridiculous.
Are
mad.
They are absurd.
Is it
culture
bad
shock.
that of all those options, the Big Mac sound like the best deal there because
Oh
you're
my
just
God,
getting
yeah.
numerically more stuff. I'm like,
Hey,
could
you-
have a phone,
you know
or I
what?
could eat for most of the year.
If I can use the McDonald's app and get some extra food along with those
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Macs, I'm golden.
Hell
Like,
yeah,
I'm
oh,
okay
yeah,
with that valuation.
And that is a dad being resourceful there. I'm going to use it to get the points to get more food.
You gotta be. It's funny because I got a few spam messages in the last week that it's like, hey, we love your content, we want to buy your channel. And I'm like, I don't think you really do. Like, I don't think that'd be a good return on your investment.
Wow, buy your channel is an interesting topic. I would, as in they wanted to fully take ownership of that.
I suppose so. I imagine that it's a complete scam, but it's still like $1 million.
I had that for my website. Someone wanted to buy lionheartx10.co.uk. And I was like, no, because like all my email will run off that. So no, that would just break my whole, like, no, like you would have to offer me like a silly amount.
Would you like to retire early?
Yeah, because like that would just break all the stuff.
Lionheart, do you want to? There's a bit of podcast admin background. Do you want to know the difference in the domain name price for .co.uk and .com of Upload Podcast?
How much?
So Upload Podcast.
How many Big Macs?
Oh, I can't do that math fast enough. A couple of thousand.
Are we
Big Macs
angling
to
for a McDonald's sponsorship, by the way? Is
I'd
that
be
what
down.
we're doing?
I'd be down.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd be
Everyone
down.
just has
As
a
long as I get a
burger,
piece of
doesn't-
that pie.
I'd be down for a hooded horse sponsorship because I think we should look at that. Anthony,
That's it. Make him awkward. Make it really awkward while he's here.
Right off the bat. That's right.
Yeah, I'm going to start getting into those questions. I know that we will ramble.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Obviously, we have, myself and you have the interesting scenario of being content creators and then also seeing the other side of things, you working with content creators, me working with, but we both work for great gaming companies or work with gaming companies. I just wanted to say, like, Hooded Horse as a company is a really interesting one because they've at least in our area of the internet, they've become a stapled name very quickly.
Yeah, they've exploded very rapidly, right?
Made some very good choices as well. And you've been along for the ride for quite a bit of that. And you've seen those changes. But I think this is going to lead on, first of all, what is your job? What is it could you explain it in like layman's terms? Because I think people will be interested. And then also sort of muscling of like what for you is the difference. Like the big thing for me was it was very eye-opening to be a content creator and then see the company's perspective of certain things and going, oh, I got angry at these things as a content creator, which now in my position, I don't get as angry at because I'm like, I understand where the decision making has gone here. Like it's such an eye-opening thing. So I want to know the moment that your brain also went, I see.
So, director of creator relations it's pretty cut and dry. I'm an extension of the marketing department. I'm kind of the opposite coin of our PR guy, of our press guy. Like he works with press and I work with content creators. So I coordinate with a lot of people within the company to get campaigns drafted, to get keys assimilated, to get marketing material created for content creators, be it press kits, beginner's guides, access to keys, pretty much all influencer dealings come through myself. So like I'm like the central point to then extend, hey, how do we handle this guy? How do we look at this person? Who we want to try and reach out to for this campaign, that sort of deal. So that's pretty much my job in a nutshell. I get the awesome opportunity of working with fantastic content creators such as you two guys. And I absolutely love it. Like it's been a blast. It's been a true blast. And in terms of the eye-opening thing, for me, it's been how much work goes into a campaign. You know, like you get an email every day and it's just like, oh yeah, there's just all this information here and here's a key. Oh, okay, that's cool. It probably took them like 5 minutes to make that email. That's incorrect. And so it's super fun though, because I get to work with some awesome people across the board. Just because I work with the marketing department doesn't mean I don't coordinate with other departments within the company. And we have a kick butt team. Like if you're gonna let me, I'm gonna brag about our team, because
Go for it. Yeah.
Please do.
I am probably the least experienced person in the entire company. So getting to work with veterans of the gaming industry was something that I never thought I'd get to do. And I'm super happy to be able to do it, for sure.
I think one of the things as well that I've seen with Hooded Horse stuff is that there's so many names that I've met over the years that are sat now working at Hooded Horse. Like, you guys are assembling kind of like an all-star like cast almost, like, because I think, I mean, one of the guys that I know is now communications director, Joe Robinson. I met him years ago at like one of the very early, I think one of the early Rome 2 press events, and then we did Home of Wargamers with Slytherin together, and like we got talking about stuff, and that was like 2014, 2015. And because he was with PC Games N, and then now he's communications director, and it's really cool as well seeing, maybe for you, like making that transition from a creator to like working directly in the games industry space. Not to say that creators aren't within that space, but it you still kind of feel like you're on the outside a lot of the time. It gives me comfort knowing that there's so many options of how you can develop and how this can translate into career options and networking. Well, and it even probably underpins the value of networking even further, and like it isn't just a case of who you know, but it does certainly help. It just highlights the importance of knowing those people to just get your foot in the door for maybe those interviews or just those contacts, or saying, you know what, I hope I can be doing this for a long time to come, and I don't know, maybe just one day retire and that's all I've done, and I'll be very happy with that. But also at the same time, if I saw the right opportunity came up or something came across, I would love to also maybe make that step into the space for the right position or the right team or the right studio or whatever, because I think it's very exciting. And that also gives me, probably takes away some of the stress of thinking, what do I do if this starts falling off at some point? Knowing that there are options potentially to look to step into working more on the game side, and I guess, how have you found that kind of stepping into that space?
Well, for one, a stable paycheck is always great. Like, first and foremost, like, content creation is one of the wildest things in the world. Like, we've all seen it. You have a video that you put 20 hours into and it gets like your 10 out of 10. And then you have a thing that you're like, oh, let me just get this done. It may not be the best work. I'm just going to do it because I need to get something out or react to this. And it just blows up out of proportion, or a single person finds it and it just explodes. And that instability drives me insane. I love content creation to death, but it is the most unexpected Wild West thing ever, And so it's always been a dream of mine and a goal of mine anyways, to work for, be it a publisher or developer. Like, I've always wanted to work inside of the space. The insights that I've given with other companies in the past, to help improve their games and stuff, it's just been a passion of mine. And so when that opportunity came up, we were deep in COVID anyways. And so my other regular job was kind of on the rocks. And so this is like, okay, like, this is the perfect opportunity to work with a publisher who focuses on strategy and tactical games. Yes, please. Like, so it lined up perfectly. It's just been a blast. Like, I have no other way. Like, sure, stressful at times. Why not? Like, you have a lot of stuff going on, but it's been absolutely worth it. And like you said, getting to be BFFs with Joe, basically, because he's the other side of my coin. Like, that's super cool. We have lots of people who are, like I said, industry veterans. We have James Gardner, who used to work at Paradox. I love working with that dude. He's a super solid guy. Like, we just have, like I said, just a stellar team of people. And it's like, oh, cool, this person joined. I know them. Oh, that's awesome. Like, I know of them anyways. Like, and I get to talk to this person and interact with them and hang out and make funny jokes and do a bunch of stuff. Like, it's super awesome.
I mean, I'm sure there's things perhaps that maybe don't go fully right and what have you, but very much I think the external perception and view of Hooded Horse that you guys are just kind of, you guys are hitting all the right boxes and hitting all the right notes right now, especially within like the strategy gaming genre. You're releasing kind of banger after banger, and you've also managed to get some absolutely stellar kind of publishing deals with some of the most insane anticipated games. I mean, I'm going to say it a lot in this, but Manor Lords, I mean, hopefully, I assume by the time this releases, it will be out. Way, it's amazing. We love it.
The amount of hours that I put into that early access over that Steam, whatever it was, the Steam Next Fest, is that 2 years ago now? Like
it was October 22.
The demo where it was just, I put 25 hours in, and that is not any, none of that is idle time. I had an area on my Discord that was just like a Manor Lords gallery for a little while.
I've not heard of anyone that didn't play that demo and go, wow, this is like the golden era of demos back again, because so many demos don't hit the right mark. And I know that there's probably in this day and age, you know, demos, early access, kind of phased, segmented portioning of games, things like that, whatever. There's lots of different ways to do it, but there's obviously been a big shift away from having a demo because it's an additional build, it's additional bugs and things to work on, and dev time and everything else that takes away from working on the main piece. But I mean, I don't know what the count is up to now, but didn't that result in like you've got like 2 million wish lists or something like that for Manor Lords? Like, what a golden piece of marketing there, right?
For sure, it jumped it up a handful of spots on the wish list number for sure. So Manor Lords right now is at number 2, as of the time of this recording.
That's mad.
And
that's mad.
It's bonkers to just like wrap your head around that for sure.
And just GG for you guys, you know. But also, I feel like as well, I mean, again, I don't pretend to know the inner workings of it all, but I feel like you're very careful with like selective about the games, obviously, that you want to choose, but also, again, don't know the full ins and outs and everything else, but I feel like when you guys do get behind, you are there to give the best possible kind of support you can to the devs. And it's not just, hey, we're coming in, here's the dates, here's what you're working to. It's like, how can we help you make the best possible game, the best possible vision come to life for you? But you know, we want to be here for the journey and the ride more than anything else. How can we help you to make this the best possible adventure?
I think Manor Lords is a really good use case for that, because I believe, because I followed the developer for it for ages, it started as a one-man dev team who said that they would never work with a proper publisher, but Hooded Horse, because you know, I think this says a lot about how good Hooded Horse have been.
Like Big Mac money.
Well, not even that. It's just,
I joke.
It's just that they essentially changed their tune, and I think it's definitely it's a partnership made in heaven.
And that's got to be eye-opening to the way that Hooded Horse are doing things differently on the publishing side to anyone else. Then, really, because if you get a dev that's like, no, I'm going to self-publish, self-do everything, and then you guys are able to come in and say, look, we know you don't want the traditional stuff. We're not offering you the traditional stuff. We're offering a different way of doing it. But again, because you guys specialize within that strategy gaming space, I mean, you've helped make a niche game have mass broad appeal. I mean, there's so many people across. I mean, and obviously, you know, the launch campaign is going to be going out to lots of different channels to really try and broaden that reach and what have you, for sure. But I mean, I was talking to some friends the other day that they're not interested in strategy, and they were like, oh, you'll know, right? Have you heard of this Manor Lords game? And I'm like, have I heard about it? It's in my blood.
That rings a bell.
And I'm like, oh, this little thing called Manor Lords. Have I heard of it? Yes. But it's amazing to see the far reaches of how that's gone because of that partnership together.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So I'll brag on all of our developers here because for context, for anyone who doesn't know much about Hooded Horse, our tagline is deep tactical and strategy games. So we are very selective in our process. We select games that really stand out or that have very interesting and deep mechanics. So very often our games may fall into the grand strategy realm or the deep tactical realm. For instance, like Against the Storm is on the surface just a settlement builder, but it's a roguelike settlement builder, which means your runs are going to be different. But then there's an additional layer of you have these perks that throughout each run, and then you have an additional layer of managing species. You know, so we have the opportunity, because it really is just an opportunity to serve the developers. That's what we're about. We're not about signing a deal on the game that's going to make us billions of dollars. We have hands full of games that we have been supporting for years at this point, and we're happy to do it. And I think one of the biggest things that really helps separate us and makes us unique in the strategy space is that we are willing to do whatever it takes for a developer. If a developer isn't ready when they said they were going to be ready because of bug issues, something happens with an engine, or, you know, things of that nature, like, we're happy to just have that discussion. And we don't want to put a game out that isn't finished or that we don't feel like is up to par or up to snuff. And that's even for early access releases. We really work with our developers, and that means last minute making decisions that are hard to make, that I think a lot of other publishers may have a hard time doing, and we are happy to do it because it's just part of our company culture. Like, that is our purpose. Our entire team is built around supporting our developers to make sure that they have a game that they are happy with, that we are happy with, and ultimately what a community is going to be happy with once it releases as well.
Such a refreshing outlook from a company to have, right?
It's nice. That is one of the biggest reasons when I started talking to Tim, our CEO, about working for them. Like, and that's what snagged me in the first place. I was able to join. I think I was maybe like the fourth or fifth person in the company. This is all the way back in 2021, I think, was actually when, right about when I joined, was October. And that was one of the things that snagged me was, well, for one, Tim's persona is absolutely addictive in the best of ways. Like, if you ever get an opportunity to talk to Tim, our CEO, take it up because it's a blast. But also just like everything about how he operates and how we want the company to operate just stands out. And like, I want to be a part of that. So why wouldn't I engage in that space? And so it's been super fun.
I think this is a really good segue because, again, Lion, you mentioned how people who don't even play strategy games are noticing Manor Lords. Manor Lords is coming up. It's a busy time. Content creators, for example, if they were looking to approach you or approach Hooded Horse about Manor Lords, what would be your main piece of advice for content creators looking to work with companies? And I put in brackets when I sent you the script for this, because the what question, the proofread of questions, was because I know this is a thing that most PR managers, and I know you have said multiple times, which is put your email in your bio on your social media.
Yes, please, for the love of everything holy and righteous.
Give key now, please.
And I will make a small addendum to that. If you don't have the email directly in the bio, because I know bots can now really farm those, have a way to find the email easily. If it's like a human confirm thing, there's many tools that do that. But is there something else than that, or is it?
Or even just like your email with the word at and a space, like make it something super obvious. That's hands down. That's hands down, because part of our marketing campaigns with what everyone does is you're approaching a game. You want to find similar games that creators would play that match with yours. So what do? You go and search. Say, I want to find X game. Oh, cool. There's this creator that would be perfect for us. Go to their Twitch profile. Oh, there is absolutely no email. All right, they have a Twitter. Let's go to their Twitter bio. Oh, not there either. Oh, they have a YouTube channel. Yeah, they don't have the email address either. Outside of me interrupting a stream, which to me is relatively unprofessional. There's extreme cases, of course. Or leaving a comment in a YouTube video, if you don't have, especially if you don't have your DMs open, it's incredibly hard to nab an email. Like, you would be surprised how many people it's just like they don't have it accessible. And so I would say, like, I totally get the bot thing, but in retrospect, me filtering through bot emails to find a golden nugget of an email from a publisher that I've always wanted to work with is worth having your email public. Like it is. You know, we've had multiple creators contact us to be like, hey, this game's out and I'm really excited for it. And I'm like, yes, give me your email. Like,
please let me do my job.
Yes, let me help you, please. I would love to do it, you know? So that's one of the largest things, but I think also it's in the approach. It's super easy to, put a link, and you can make it your default. I know several of us have all of our email or all of our, you know, social links extensions as a signature that you attach to every email. That's a fantastic way right off the bat, because I've also had lots of people be like, you know, politely, key please, but I have no way of finding out who they are because like their email they come from has a personal name. I can't look up anything from that. The easier you make it for me to access your information and your channel stats, the greater time we're going to have, and the more it will be an enjoyable experience.
That actually is, yeah, it's something I want to ask you about as well, which is something that you do a fantastic job of as well as a creator, taken away from your hooded horse head, is the way you display your stats for other developers and for other publishers and things. You have I can't, there is a term for them, but the cards.
I haven't done that in ages, but yes, it's a fantastic idea to get into.
I think you've been very busy.
Deck,
like a media. That's the term, like a media deck. Nice line.
You don't have to now because YouTube have got it built into their studio.
Exactly.
That's very true.
But if you're not a YouTube creator, you'll still have
That's
to do it.
true.
So
Yeah. Come on, Twitch.
a friend of mine, she's an Instagram creator. I hope we can get her on the show at some point. She was with a company that used to make them for her because they did all her PR. She's now like gone, she has full control over that. And she had to make one. It was just like, I need this because that's the expectation. Looking into your stats, and don't be afraid to say that you have low numbers. Don't make up numbers because people will be able to verify. But one of the things that I used to do back in the day, because I started working with Paradox, getting keys from them when I had about 400 subs on YouTube. That's less likely now because the genre has shifted again, but there's also like key sites like WooVit and things now that a lot of people go through, so look into those. But the way I structured an email, I used to take hours to write PR, like emails to PR companies, because I would stress about, I'd have a paragraph that went, I am looking to use this like as monetized content. I will be monetizing the video. I had a whole bit where like, here's recent videos. I know I'm a small content creator, but I do this. And if you are a small content creator, I think a big piece of advice from me is talk about what makes you different about where you sit in the niche. Like, I'm sure you'll probably be able to confirm better than anyone. There's sometimes that there is value in not just the number of views that it's going to see, but like how dedicated your audience are, how likely your audience are to play a game that's coming up. For example, if you say that I host community multiplayers on say like we're playing similar games. We'd love to also take a look. I'm hoping that maybe if I do a video on it, we can convince some of my audience to pick up the game. Because at the end of the day, if they're giving you a key, as long as you make one or make 2 sales, you've kind of covered that person's key a little bit. Like at the end of the day, so just go at it with a professional approach. Have all the data out there. Don't hide anything.
It's very easy to verify information nowadays.
I had a tweet come across my timeline actually earlier today, which was someone creator manager for another studio or whatever, and they were saying, like smaller or like nano or micro influencers, creators, what have you, don't be afraid for going for those opportunities, because even if you've got a small community, often those small communities have incredibly dedicated followings, and you'll have a much higher conversion ratio of, especially if you're looking to, I don't know, promote a drink or something like that. If you've got 100 people, but you have a conversion rate of 70% versus someone that has thousands but only gets 20 people to sign up, like you are far more valuable. And also there's a lot of value in. And I think that's probably something, we notice a lot with like Paradox doing. They're very good at supporting creators, especially when they're smaller, because it's a long-term investment as well, that relationship, right?
I got pipelined hard by Paradox, if we think about it. Like they started giving me keys.
That's the episode title. I got pipelined hard by Paradox.
I know, but it's true. Like as a micro influencer, started working with them. I had a love for their games originally, but I started working with them, or went to their conventions as the smallest content creator. We've had a discussion about this. Like I then met not the influencer managers, but community managers. And then when a job arose in 2021, I love the fact that we both started in the games industry, like directly.
Yeah, it's super cool.
They've made the change in the same year, but they just approached me and said, "Hey, you'd be perfect for this." And I went, "All right, acting work's dried up because can't go outside. Let's give this a go." And
Wow.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. What you're saying is you could go outside, but the hazmat look didn't quite work for you.
Like I said, I did do outdoor productions. I will 100% try to get an editor to add the image of it. Like one of my stories from, I've already mentioned it on the podcast, but I remember doing the release announcement for the 5th year anniversary of Hearts of Iron. I was doing all the social media posts. At the time, there was no community manager. So the only two people working on the comms for this release were me and the game director at the time. It was because there was massive turnover, there was massive sickness, there was massive 3 people in communications were out on paternity leave.
Does this mean we get to see
it was
your dying video again?
No, it won't be the dying video. So I was at the same time doing children's theatre outside. And I did the communications push for this.
You brave, foolish man. All I'll say to that.
I did the communications push for the 5-year anniversary of Hoy, dressed as a bear in an interval for a show in an office with an upload speed of 5 megabytes. And it was the most stressful moment of my life. I never want to go back. I would love to know how little things that you've learned from your past experience of work as a content creator and stuff, how that's gone into how you focus on your day-to-day as a creator relations manager. And obviously being a creator helps with that, clearly, because you know where they're all coming from. But is there any other more bespoke scenarios? Were you ever dressed as a bear as you did your work?
Let me get my bear costume.
I can't say I've had that opportunity yet, but I'm not above it. I'll say
drafting the
that.
email pitch later.
yeah. Tim, if you see this,
any bears in Manor Lords?
Not that I'm aware of, but no, I think everything about content creation kind of played a role in it. Just the professional manner in which I work by default. Video editing skills are a huge part. Again, when I joined, there was 3 or 4 people, and video editing seems like such a minor thing, but when you have no one who knows how to edit videos, then it becomes a very crucial thing. You know what I mean? And at the time, I was still heavy into doing intros for Lionheart, which
are sick, by the way. They are so good.
Thank you. And so that played a part too. It's not only can you just edit video, but you can edit, you can do effects, adding that sort of stuff in. But just the whole thing, being a strategy content creator and being by default someone who isn't I'm not going to talk to you because I'm threatened by you, which is a big thing in the content creator field. Maybe not so much in the strategy realm, but definitely in other areas. But I already had lots of relationships with the exact creators that Hooded Horse wanted to reach out to. So just being able to leverage my relationship building skills, the graphic design aspects of everything, being able to, at the beginning, really work side by side with my press guy and Tim and be able to kind of jumpstart that has really helped. And so content creation, it's so many people are oh, you just edit something in Premiere, you throw it up and you scrape together a thumbnail. But it's a lot more than that. You have a poor composition or you pick a poor text on your thumbnail and it does terrible. As content creators, we are marketers. We are our marketing department, because if we make a bad move, guess who gets to pay for it? We get to pay for it, and so there's a lot that goes into it. But everything about content creation is the reason why I was able to do my job, because it ties, like you said, it ties directly into it. So even from crafting emails, we've all had emails that are just terrible emails trying to pitch us a game. I've had some where it's 2 sentences where it's hey, we hope you're interested in this. Here's a key. And, it's an RPG 2D pixel thing, and you can tell that they just didn't do research. They literally just found a channel and threw a key at it. And so knowing that can't be a focus that's successful, just from as the content creator side, knowing on the receiving end what a content creator wants to receive, what they want to do, and then being able to transform that to be okay, I know the creator mind, I know exactly how they operate. It's been the crucial part for my job. Absolutely.
My favorite emails to get are the ones where you can tell it's the copy pasting. It's we've looked through some of your videos on your channel and we think you're a great fit. And I'm what, for Polly Pocket World? This makes no sense. The Total War crossover you didn't know you needed.
We want you to promote bespoke jewelry. No, you don't.
Yeah. I had that. What was it? I had a while back some totally random. It was teapots, hand painted teapots, and I was I'm British, so I guess that's the qualifying thing that you looked for here. But it was pottery class, and I was if I was making pottery content, I would or anything arts and crafty, I would understand. But why?
My favorite one is bathroom tile. Like legit. They were just like bathroom tile and the products that go with it, grout and stuff like that. They're like, we just think you would be the perfect fit for this. And I'm like, I mean, to be quite frank, if you want to give me, you know, thousands of dollars worth of tile, I can redo my bathrooms and I'll be appreciative of it. But like,
I mean,
I'll
like,
do that.
If I post that on my channel, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going to do well. Yeah.
Or it's the thing that makes you massive. Can you imagine just suddenly you have to pivot your entire channel to be a DIY?
I'm now a tile
Yeah.
channel.
Do it.
Give me, instead of save your disaster, I'll save your bathroom disaster. That's what
The grandest strategy to build your bathroom.
3 days. Can it be done?
Bathroom meta. Top tips for the bathroom meta. Gonna go a little bit more quickfire on some of these because they're not as long. As a content creator, I want to know this both as an influencer manager and working with influencers and as a content creator. What's your dream collaboration?
My dream collaboration.
Tiling company.
It doesn't have to be another creator. It can be a company to work with or a concept to work with. But what's your dream sort of thing? But also from the perspective of what you do now, like who would you love to get to play a video if you just had the ability to just go, hey, I want to work with you on this project?
Well, for me personally, on the Hooded Horse side, like this is gonna sound cheesy, but like I love creators to death, but I love developers more. Dream collabs are just like, quite honestly, I love every single company that we are publishing for. And so my dream collabs at the moment are trying to find the best collaborations with our developers side by side to be able to do something that just like makes their game even more awesome. That creators like, oh wait, I'm missing out on this game, like because of X collaboration. That's honestly my dream at this point. It's probably shifted. You would ask me 5 years ago and I would have a wildly different answer, but I truly just love all of our developers. And so from the Hooded Horse side, it's figuring out those collaborations to make early access releases banger, to make 1.0s just absolutely, you know, just awesome. On the personal side, the creator space that I do isn't necessarily like a collaborative environment. I'm not going to lie. My like H for Havoc content creation time is from like maybe 4:30 in the morning to 6:30 in the morning, maybe 1 or 2 days a week.
So this time now, basically.
Yeah, basically. And so like that makes it hard to do collaborative stuff unless, you know, you've got a guy over in the UK or a guy over in Sweden. But yeah. And then, so honestly though, like from the content creator side, this is the kind of collaborations that I love. It's being able to talk about my expertises and my passions, more than like, sure, would I love to do like a Total War co-op campaign with Lionheart? Absolutely, that would be banger. But like this, I'm totally down for it, by the way. But
I've been looking for a new partner.
Well, we may have to talk then. But like that's what I love doing. I love being able to talk about my passions in an environment like this because it's so fun having two creators that you know and enjoy being around and just being able to shoot the bull for, you know, an hour.
Shooting the bull for an hour is literally the whole reason we started this podcast. But also, I just want to say how much more of a wholesome and well-rounded answer that was than Lionheart going Nando's.
We put me on the spot and I had recently had a Nando's and what's not to love about chicken?
Do you know what? You got so much shit from the editors. They were like, why
Really?
Nando's? There's so
What?
much better chicken places. They were like, the editors turned on you for that. And I love that I've just... There you go.
What are you suggesting, Dan?
Also, Havoc, just as a thing for you, no one can ever hear when Dan cuts in, so it just
That's
makes us look
amazing.
insane.
Makes me look even
So,
more mad.
so yeah,
amazing.
so we just
When
do
you're gonna
it.
see, you're gonna see my
I
face
am-
just suddenly light up, and it's just gonna be like, why
So,
is
yeah,
he
you
lighting
can
up?
join in the madness.
Oh, yeah, but you're never going to go to a proper restaurant and order chicken, are you?
Unless you have kids.
Havoc, to segue on, you just mentioned it there a little bit as well, is juggling things with being a father. Like we talked about it in the beginning a little bit. Like you and Lionheart both are part of the exclusive the club daddy.
Oh, no, don't call it that.
Club
Please
father.
don't.
Yeah,
Club
club
fatherhood.
dad, club
Club
father.
fatherhood.
That's
The kind
fine.
of subscription service that we're not part
Yet.
of.
Yet.
Launching 2025.
Yeah, look, you gotta
Upload presents Club
Oh
Daddy.
my word. Co-founders,
upload
Lionheart and H for Havoc.
juggling running a channel, juggling working a full-time job, juggling parenthood is a unique scenario. But I want to know how that affects not only like your time and your workflow, but also your creativity. Because I think finding time to be creative takes a lot of energy, and it's different amounts of energy for different people, but. And I know that you put a lot into spending time with your kids. Like I know that you've been running some D&D stuff with them recently, and like that. I mean, D&D. I know as someone who GMs a lot that takes time and energy as well. To like, so you've got a lot to balance. I just want to know like what some of your processes and how you do that, and or some of the struggles you find, because I know some people listening to this might be parents of their own looking to become content creators and going, I need 30 minutes when the child is like at nursery or whatever to try and do something. How do you manage that? Like, what's your go-tos?
I don't sleep. Plain and simple. No, but
I was going to say it's going to be no sleep. Yeah, give up on sleep, and it's amazing how much time you create.
No, but that's an excellent question, because, like, for instance, my daytime hours are devoted to Hooded Horse. That's like the structure that works best for me. Anything outside of that is where I have my space to do so. For instance, typically, and I know this is going to sound mad to 99% of the population, but typically, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's just like, I'll typically go to bed around 10 or 11. I only need 4 or 5 hours of sleep maximum. Like, anything beyond, my body like hates sleep, and so like I get sick. Like I get like flu-like symptoms if I sleep 7 or 8 hours straight. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so like I wake up early, and that time between I wake up and when my kids come up, I have my Bible study, so I start my day off with that. And then once I get past that, work through all of that stuff, I work on content creation, or I work on, I'm a guy who runs his own company. So I have a lot of different freelancing aspects that I employ all at once. And so I'm either working on that, and if I have time, that's where content creation is. So I have a someone mentioned the other day, like, hey, here's some ways that you could do better with your channel and make things. I'm like, listen here, dude, YouTube is very much like my fun side project that I have the chance to work on whenever I can get to it. Would I love it for it to be more? Absolutely. But it also pays the least. And you know what? My kids enjoy eating and having a warm house and clothes.
But you have 320 Big Macs.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
That-
Yeah, that's true.
And knowing they would last for months, I could buy them all at once and they would be fine. No. But yeah, so like I always say, I have the most confused community, because there will be times where work is a little slow and I'm churning out content left, right, front, and center. And then things get busy and you won't hear from me for 2 months. And then I come back. And so it does limit though, because for instance, I have, say, an hour and a half. I can either spend a morning scripting something and making some nice edited content, if I'm in the mood for it, because again, it's 4 or 4:30 in the morning, or I can crank out a couple of Let's Play episodes because there's 2 games I'm really enjoying right now and I just want to have some fun. And so it definitely varies. And I try not to work at nights, because full-time work and all that stuff, like I'm already away from the missus, for the most part. So like I like to have evenings there to kind of devote time to her. So I would say, as a dad of one or multiple children, if you're wanting to get into content creation, just like have those standard processes and keep to them, because it will keep you sane and it will remove a lot of the frustration. And, if there's like an expectation of, well, I'll try and squeeze something in, and a kid's running and screaming outside, which my kid's like racing to my door and slamming into it during the daytime hours, it's fantastic. I love it. Believe me. So like content creation during the day is just always out of the question. Like it just is. And so being able to wake up early in the morning when everyone's passed out, that's the time that I do it. And that's what works for me. It's a fun mix. Like I enjoy YouTube. I understand that it will probably never amount to a lot. That being said, like my kids saw that I had, I don't know, however many subscribers I have. I don't even know. And they're like, oh my word, Dad, like you have that many people. And I'm like, that, yeah. And so like, a 30,000 subscribers to me just doesn't seem that much. But you ask a normal person, they're like, holy crap, you have that many people following you. Like,
It's an insane achievement.
it's a fun thing. And, you know, it gives you just great perspective. And just like it is humbling in a lot of ways, because by many definitions, that is a successful channel. You know, and I work with some amazing creators who have stats that blow my mind. Lionheart's consistency in his views on episode 1378 of something that's taken 3 years to complete blows my mind. And it's awesome. But yeah, it's a fun mix. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
You saying about like doing Let's Plays, I'm really like, we've talked about it on previous ones, and like, it's not the type of content that will drive rapid growth. It's very slow and steady. But I wouldn't, especially now, would not change it for the world, because it means I can work and stay sane and actually have some time to be with my kid. I'm going to say kids now, because when this goes out, there's going to be 2. That's mind blowing.
Hello, friend. Yeah.
Welcome to the
I'm going to be
multi-kid
so
life.
tired. I think, as you say as well, like I mean, I try and work now between like 9 and 5 ish. Some overlap, sometimes earlier starting, sometimes slightly later. And like, I don't know about you, but I sort of found like some people saying, oh, I wish we could do these collabs a bit later or something. And I'm like, I'm not, or like at the weekend, I'm like, no, that's family time. And I wish so many more creators would, feel that they can, because once you get that into your regular schedule, your community adapts to it as well, rather than trying to constantly, like, because you see some streamers and stuff that are like, this is my first day off in a year. And you're like, that's not healthy to work constantly at that point. I look forward now more than ever. I still love what I do all the time, but I look for, sometimes there's weeks where I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday, I can't wait for the weekend, because I need that, you know, I need that time, and I need that time to be with my family. And, you know, it's not just, I don't think it is just a perception change because I've got kids. I think it's just a more healthier perception change in general for the whole content creation space and the space that we work in. There's a reason why the vast majority of jobs, you know, do that 5 days on, 2 days off, roughly, you know, broadly speaking. That's the standard, you know, shift work, right? When you start just pushing past that all the time, it's just not good.
Yeah, I'm smiling at this moment because I am definitely someone who screws. Yeah, no, my work-life balance is horrendous and has been. And sometimes I've had it in a good flow, sometimes I haven't. Like,
let's go get a Big Mac together sometime, but or Nando's.
So up until very recently, there's a contract that fell through, kind of thankfully, but I was essentially working 7 days a week and trying to do content creation on the side and trying to do 1,000 other things on the side. But it's something I just want to flip back to. And it's bad. Do not do it. I love the fact that honestly, this is huge for me in terms of, this podcast is huge for me in terms of my own work-life balance, because this has helped me reset an awful schedule, because these people work in normal human hours and I don't. So it's relatively, I mean, you are up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., was it 5 a.m. now, but like 4 a.m.
But you're doing that as part of like creating that better balance outside of that, which I think is, and you know, it's finding what works for you to still create that balance. And you've not done it at the expense of like, and it means I can just work even more. It's like, no, I'm doing this now so that I can actually have that switch off, because I think that's a big problem as well for creators just in general, and you know, any other career as well, being able to switch off, especially in a job where you are to a large degree constantly needing to be connected. And it's something that I still fail at on the daily. Every single week there'll be days where I'm like, I'm still on my phone constantly doing work stuff, trying to switch off, and I can't.
There's this persona that I've had to really work through, and especially within the last, I would say, year and a half, is that as freelancers, which we all are, you know, I'm a contract employee for 5 different companies, in wildly different fields. Like you would be amazed. But if you're not, there's this persona that if you're not working, you're not making money. And that, like, I already struggle with workaholism 100%. Like, that is something that drives me and has driven me for so long. And it only got worse when I went full contract with all the different companies, was that, like, if I'm not working, I'm literally not creating money. And so that's where that work-life balance really struggles, because you want, like, as a dad of 3, I want to provide everything for my children. Like, I want to be able to, you know, as I say with my wife, I want the ability to say no, not because of money. I want to say no because I don't want you to be a spoiled brat, not because we can't afford it, you know, but you have to, like, you have to have that balance. You have to be okay with taking a day off. You have to be okay because my family needs my time more so than they need my money, you know.
And you need a little bit of you time as well that isn't you know, just sat on the toilet having a poop at some point.
Yeah, you need the you time that you haven't monetized. This is the biggest thing that I've need to turn on, because I always use the excuse that, well, you know, I could do gaming time as downtime, but if I stream it, I could make money from it slightly, and it would be a less of a waste of time. That's an awful mindset, and you'll find that you work better. There's a concept that I've also now taken with my YouTube channel as a smaller content creator that doesn't make as much from that, but now works in, you know, the industry more. Do you see the same thing? And I want to see if your mentality is also switch. I now see my YouTube channel more as a testing ground for work I do with clients. Do you have that similar concept? Like, is it another thing for you where you like still, or is it? No, okay, cool. No, I love that, because this is a switch that my mentality did for almost justifying why I still do my YouTube channel, which I think is kind of wrong. And I wanted to know, like, is it still just your hobby thing, or is it still just like, had you had that switch as well?
It's a hobby thing for me. I pretty much just do essentially whatever I want to. Yes, I cater to my community, as confused and you know, misinformed as they are, but like, for instance, I just wanted to hop into Old World, which is a fantastic game, by the way. And so, like, at this point, YouTube's algorithm, if it doesn't want to push it, it doesn't want to push it. That's fine. I'm going to make a because that's another thing that I think is what a lot of people really struggle with. It's like, they have to cover the latest games, or they have to cover and just be like, go, 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 go. And you can tell by their content that they either aren't enjoying it, but they're still just going to push through and do it. And that's the worst kind of content you can ever make, because the only way you build a community, a true community, is that they see you enjoying the content that you create. And so I don't care if I'm covering a game that's 7 years old. I don't care if it's a game that sold poorly. I don't care if it's a game that got not great reviews. If I'm enjoying playing it, then I'm going to play it. And if my community doesn't like that, I love them to death, but oh well. Like,
you got to do what's good for you, like, mentally, and that brings you a bit of happiness. I mean, we said this in a previous podcast that my January and February actually have been the best ones I've had since Warhammer 3's release this year, because normally January and February are really low. But I've been playing Napoleon, I've been playing Fall of the Samurai. The only bit of new content I've done is some Crusader Kings 3 DLC. I've been playing older games, and that's a whole other thing as well, just of like, there's not been any new Total War content, so of course I've gone back to stuff that I wanted to go back to. But it's obviously resonating not just with me, but with a lot of other people within the wider community as well, that they wanted some of that older stuff. And it's actually, now that I've come back and started playing a bit of Warhammer 3 again with another campaign, it was such a refreshing break actually to come back, because it felt fresh again. It felt new again, like kind of having to just rememorize the nuances and the different features for that game versus the older one. And also, I guess, seeing the progression, or in some cases the lack of progression, or falling back on some features, because that happens. You've got to, even at this stage where I know I've still got to consciously do content that's going to make money, I think I'm very fortunate. And also, it's definitely shifted my, I guess, what my filler content's going to be between releases, to focus more on what's genuinely going to make me really happy. Not that I never aim to play content that I'm not going to enjoy. If I'm not enjoying it, I'll be upfront. I'll say about it. You'll see when a series ends, before going through, or whatever. It is so important to focus on content that you're enjoying, because the amount of time and emotion and the drain that it takes on you to do constantly, it's just, even if you're making money from it, it's just not worth doing if your heart's not in it, if you're not in it, because it's going to show across the content. You can tell instantly when someone's bored AF with something that they're doing, and they're like, I'm not enjoying it. I'm just, I've thankfully haven't had it too often, but I've ended a couple of series throughout the years. I'm not enjoying it anymore. I want to be making content that you guys are going to enjoy. And I think especially when it isn't, when you've moved away from it and it's not your main focus as much anymore because you've got your other work and what have you. So you need that to, yes, it's still, you know, hobby / kind of job work for you, but it's got to be, with the limited time that you have for yourself, it's got to be part of being something in enjoying for you and fulfilling for you, because you don't want it to be like yet another drain that the world throws at you.
Well, and especially because all of my content's made in the morning, sometimes late in the evening, but mostly in the morning. Like, the last thing you want to do is play a game you don't enjoy for an hour first thing in the morning. So you're starting your day, oh man, I blew an hour playing a game I don't enjoy just because, like, and it's so, it's just about starting your day the way, you know, you're in control of how you start your day. So like, if I can start my day playing a game that's super duper fun, I'm off on a good beat when my kid wakes up.
Then I think I've only got one final question, and I'm gonna quote a movie. What's in the box? What's in the box?
This isn't even the final
I think
form.
Everyone's gonna be watching. Yeah, so
my box.
is this work related? Is this all work related? I just think people are going to be going, what's the cardboard boxes? Or are you moving house? Like, what's going on?
No, I'm not moving. Not in this housing market.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
No, this is tied to a game, and it's for redacted, beep, 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 redacted. No, by the time this episode comes out, it'll already be out and about. But these are influencer kits.
Oh, nice.
For Manor Lords. If we had known about this collaboration sooner, I would have gotten a kit out sooner, so Lionheart could be utilizing it right now.
We could probably snap in, because this is edited, this is all pre-recorded actually. We have sponsor segments as well. We could always throw it in as just the reveal in one of those.
The reveal,
yeah, we can do those. That's really cool. I think everyone's excited for Manor Lords, but
for sure.
Havoc, Antony, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on the show.
I've had a blast.
We could continue this conversation and more of these conversations for hours. Yeah, we will definitely have you back. But finally, is there anything that you want to promote? Please, like, drop say your socials, do you think, like, so this is your moment to just share anything that you're working on. Just round us out with what you want to go before we end the show.
Well, I'm totally going to push Hooded Horse. I'm repping them with the shirt. I'm repping them with the tumbler. Hooded Horse is a fantastic company. I will say that first and foremost. Again, we focus on deep strategic and tactical games, and we have a great selection across the board. Xenonauts 2, Terra Invicta, Clan Folk, if you're into a RimWorld style, like, we have a gamut and a wide range. So if you're remotely interested in strategy or tactical games, definitely give them a try. And of course, Manor Lords releases on April 26th, which was already be out by the time that this episode goes out. But no, totally. Like,
what a great release that was.
Sure.
Yeah. What a great release. Yes.
That's actually, Lionheart's not having another kid. We're pre-recording this because we got to lose our souls to Manor Lord. That's the reason we're pre-recording.
I mean, you're not actually too far off the
But yeah, definitely give Hooded Horse a look. We're on Steam, we're on Twitter, we have a YouTube, all of the things.
And where can people find you?
Where to find me? Absolutely, H for Havoc. I go by Papa Havoc on Twitter. It's very fitting considering I have 3 children.
It's going to be his club daddy.
No, it needs to be far away from anything. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah. Daddy, it'll be Daddy Havoc. How about that?
Yeah, we're all daddies on the site. You did this, Midge. I don't know why you're looking away. You did this.
I did. I'm really worried that our community are going to start referring to themselves as the daddies.
Now you've done it, haven't you?
Surrounding the podcast.
Why?
I know. This is why I'm worried.
Too late. It's done now. The damage is done.
Oh my word. I'm here for it, though.
Done. But no, again, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been Upload, and we will see you guys next time we upload.
I wouldn't worry too much about like room treatment to start with.
No.
Just get either
You don't need any of this. You don't need this.
No,
I
not
barely
that
don't.
fancy bollocks.
I barely need this. I'm just, like I said,
It looks lovely though. I want to touch it. I want to touch it.
Oh, this whole room smells of walnut now. It's the best bit. Like for the last 2-3 days, this has just smelt like.
I told you to stop doing that with the walnuts.
Yeah, it's
rubbing them everywhere.
It's now my nut wall.
Oh no! Remember, Upload Podcast is the podcast where we unload onto. Wait, no. Well, quite literally, that's his unload wall.